Shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praises, honors, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha-Rakah-Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well and still do. Salutations to the Akim on the highways and the hedges and four corners preaching this word, sincereness and faith in the truth. And Shalom to all you sincere listeners. I was just meditating in the spirit. Came across a couple of apostles elders videos. I was just watching a live stream, Apostle Ramlab, and he was expressing his feelings towards you Edomites. So you red pasty devils, and it's very edifying. You gotta watch Apostle Taha's video. He had put it up not too long ago. And a couple of the brothers of Akim's videos, like GMS Clash of the Kings, and Rebuke of the Gates. I believe Amawan Shazad. Slakia, Adawan Shazad. They're very edifying. Talking about the caravans, Latin tribes, Ephraim, the whole northern kingdom, but saying Ephraim for short. And it's just biblical prophecy. I came across this news article. I was just reading a little bit of it. I was going to get a couple of precepts that I meditated on. I was going to read the rest of it, and then Lord's willingness to be edifying. It's just another testimony that Babylon is through, and devil showing their horns. And also, before I forget, watching GMS Enduring Branch video, he's talking about Babylon is through too, because you can look at the people and they're just done. Like, to be perfectly honest, like you can't even express it no other way. Everybody, just like the brother said, the people have a dead look on their face, But like pertaining to the book of Proverbs, the 21st chapter, they know they lack understanding, so they're going to remain in that congregation of the dead. But getting to this, you mean slavery? Uproar after conservative think tank says free trade gave U.S. economic edge. So as you can see, the devil is yet a liar. He wants to hide history and the fact that he partook and financed slavery. Not only the slavery of the so-called Negroes, but also the enslavement of you so-called Latinos and you Native Americans, And to be honest, the apostle, he was going into that, and it was true. Because when you look up slavery, they always show Southern Kingdom slavery. They don't show the Northern Kingdom, but it's true. How did the U.S. transform from an overseas colony into an economic powerhouse? A prominent think tank says free markets are to thank, but skeptics quickly pointed to the vast amounts of forcibly seized land and human chattel. Yeah, and that's documented history, You learn about it from elementary school, even though they touch on it very vaguely. As of today, they try to rewrite it. It's revisionist history. And that's why Esau, he's angry, because he can't control the narrative of the story. Like history means his story. And whoever's in power, they can control the history. And as you can clearly see, Esau is just he's a liar, You get a quick precept. It says, we're going to go to the book of Psalms, chapter 58, verse 3. And the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Yeah, and it's talking about you Edomites. Try to call yourselves white. If you look up that term, like the elder had pointed out, Elder Malcolm in Chicago. He he had said that the first time they had used it, and when you look it up, it's true. First time they had used it was the year 1681. Before that, that was known as Edomites, or in the Greek, Idumeans. That's why you look in the scriptures, like in the book of Ezekiel and Isaiah, it says Idumean. Like Isaiah the 34th chapter, Ezekiel the 20, I believe the 28th chapter. Let's see this. You want to get this too? Here's the book of Zechariah, chapter 11, starting at 4. Thus saith the Lord, my power feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Yeah, and that's talking about you Edomites, you red devils. The devil means deceiver. So the Lord was perfect in calling you critters devils, because you try to deceive the world, and push forth that doctrine of victimism. Always being the victim. When you do the history and the records, you Edomites are the actual culprits. And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Yeah, that's talking about the false leaders that's in charge of misleading the pasture. Like your TD Jakes, your Creflo Dollars and whatnot. Even down to the ones that know that's your plantation Christianity, but even down to your groups that know that they're Israel. Don't want to say no names too much to get incriminated, but to be honest, like your IUICs and your GOCCs, just to name a few, because the Lord's name is in Christ. His name is Yahweh, because Christ is a Greek term, and we're not Greek, we're Hebrew. And not only Hebrew, we're Hebrew Israelites. So you gotta tell people to get it right. In a tweet promoting an article that compares gross domestic product of several U.S. metro areas to entire countries, Los Angeles and the surrounding region have a combined GDP comparable to Mexico's. For example, the American Enterprise Institute praised the ingenuity of American capitalism. Yeah, they praised it because all thieves, are in on the spoil of Israel. When I say all thieves, I'm talking about all nations. All you gotta do is go to the book of matter of fact, since I'm talking about it. Salaki. Because no matter how much, that's why we need the Lord to return. Because no matter how much we continue, like pertaining to the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter, the Lord shortened the days for the elect's sake. Because if the Lord didn't, this devil would erase what happened to us out of the books, even though we have documented evidence. Somehow, some way, that evidence will disappear. It is Book of Psalms, chapter 50, starting at verse 18. When thou sawest a thief, and then thou contendest with him, and hast been partakers with adulterers, thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Yeah, and this is clearly talking about you Edomites, generally all of you as a collective, but primarily you gutter rat fake Jews, you kites, because you're not even the real Jews. Verse 20, thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, thou slanderest thine own mother's son. Yeah, and this is talking about Esau and Jacob, man. Because our forefather, the Edomites' forefather, is lying on our forefather. And so through the spirit and through reincarnation, you Edomites, you lie on Israel. Matter of fact, let me get something real quick. This is the book of Job chapter 13 verse 4. But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. Yeah, and it's talking about you Edomites, man. Everything that come out your mouth is a lie. Point blank, period. This is, we'll skip down, because I'm going to try to make this quick. Free markets, free trade, and capitalism propelled the U.S. From a minor colony to a global economic superpower and the world's largest economy, with dozens of metro areas that produce the equivalent to the GDP of some of the world's largest countries, AIE argued. Many Americans were not convinced, countering that a fondness for land grabbing under false pretenses and slavery could have had a role in U.S. economic development as well. Yeah, and this is the truth, Everybody knows this. Like, Esau can't get away from this. This is how you know that you so-called white people are Esau in the Bible, because Esau had the spirit of Cain. Because it tells you that Esau was a vagabond and a wanderer. A fugitive and a vagabond. And you look up the word vagabond, it means a wanderer. And a wanderer is somebody that don't never stay home, like pertaining to the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. As a matter of fact, let me get that real quick, since I was quoting it. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 5. Yeah, actually, I started at 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. And it's talking about Esau, because your soul's lifted up with that pride, because ain't nobody touched you yet. And also the Lord has given you blessing, and you got more than your heart could wish, and you always want more. So, it's going to explain about your devilish ways. But the just shall live by his faith, and that's talking about Israel, and primarily the elect. Those will not be part of that. Is the point, verse 5. Yet also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And clear cut, that's talking about Esau, to the T. His desire is as hell, and is as death, because you're unsatisfiable. It's like it says. You see, skip down. You see the people that are going crazy, and this is how we know that. Apostle Dahar deemed this year 2018 the year of prophecy. These prophecies are coming to pass. Just like in the book of Habakkuk, his vision was for an appointed time, and that point in time has to be now, because these prophecies are speaking and they're not lying. They're not tarrying no more, coming out like the floodgates, because you Edomites are being exposed. Because this is your time to come down. No matter how much you try to pretty it up or whatever literary eloquence you apply, it was still the nightmare of slavery that made America what it is today. Don't sit here and try to rewrite history. Yeah, point blank, period. Yeah. Says, while AIE claims that the combined GDP of the New York metro area is larger than the entire economic output of Canada, some of its other comparisons seemed a bit overeager. Although boasting that American regions outpace some of the world's largest countries in terms of GDP, AEI's matchups include button-sized nations like Belgium, as well as conflict-plagued Iraq, which has been repeatedly bombed and invaded by the United States over the last 25 years. Yeah, in point blank period, this is just another prerequisite to Esau trying to flex his muscle and celebrate his rape, robbery, and murder of the world, and primarily the Israelites. And that's how he got his wealth. You know. Let me just get a couple more precepts on my clothes. You know, you devils thought that you was good, and it's not even that. That's not even the case. You know, matter of fact, yeah, this book of Psalms, chapter 49, verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Yeah, and this is exactly what you have done. You know. But your land wasn't yours because you stole it. You know? This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 19, verse 14. Thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark, and this is in the law, which they of old time have set in thine inheritance, which thou shalt inherit in the land that the Lord thy power giveth thee to possess it. Yeah, and it clearly Esau is the breakers of the law, you know? Point blank period. Forgers of lies. You know, you so-called white people, you fit the description of these Edomites to the T. This is book of 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Yeah, and this is exactly what the Lord is doing. That wicked is talking about you Edomites. It's talking about Esau, and Esau is being consumed with the spirit of the spirit of the Lord's mouth. And the spirit of the Lord's mouth is his servants, the prophets, because they're condemning him, you know, calling them out. Warning the people that the devil, who the devil is, and he does exist. You know. Let me get this and close. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2. Actually, slack it. Before I even get that, just remembered it. The Wadi Yahweh Shem Yahshai. This is the book of Nahum, chapter 3, verse 1. Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. And clearly this is talking about America. Because people all over the comment boards in Twitter was tweeting that how America was founded. It's founded off of the rape, robbery, and murder. You know? And the prey is talking about Israel. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We'll skip down to verse 5. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. And this is exactly what the Lord is doing. And I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock. And that's exactly what the Lord is doing. You know, with the spirit and power of Yahweh Yahushua via the prophets. You know, condemning this wicked kingdom. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and maketh him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. Yeah, and this is probably what you're seeing. You know, the Edomites is coming down out of power, man, and it's a beautiful thing. And this is how we know that you're coming down, is everybody's raising up against you. Matter of fact, it just reminded me of a precept. Let me get this. This is the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 27. The heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. You know, the increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath. This is the portion of a wicked man from power, and the heritage appointed unto him by the Most High. Yeah, and this is the case. This is how we know Edomites is coming down out of power. Because, to be honest, when you do the history, every kingdom that comes down out of power, they get exposed for whatever wickedness that they did on the way down, you know, because while they're in power and they actually have it, nobody would dare go against them. And as you can see, these other nations are going against you Edomites, just like they are, if you've been paying attention to current events. Even the small third world country nations, just like Iraq and Iran and Syria. And why? Because they're backed by the superpower nations like China and Russia. You know, that's the name of a few. So yeah, it's done for you, Edomites. Matter of fact, let me get this precept close. Just through the spirit. There's Lamentations chapter 4, verse 21. A oldie but goodie. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup shall also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. And yeah, it's talking about you Edomites. You see, the daughter of Edom. The Lord is telling you to rejoice and be glad. You know, it's like pertaining to the book of Psalms, the 55th, it's like the 50th chapter, that you thought that the Lord was altogether such as yourself because the Lord allowed you to get away with it. But little did you know that the Lord only allowed you to get away with it so you could be justified in destroying you. Not to mention that we had us as a nation, talking about Israel, we had went off and disobeyed the Lord, His statutes and commandments. So we had to be punished. But as you can see, we're up out of that. We're almost up out of here. Man, it's a beautiful thing. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. You hear the trucks going off, the fire trucks. Ain't been no fires in years. You know? The Edomites is through. And yeah, I'm going to just close with that. Lord's willing, you was edified. I'd like to give all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect. And death to America, death to you Edomites, you know. Get ready for slavery, like pertaining to the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter.